let's ride. Unified leadership. Light that flame, turn it up loud, remember the name. Unified leadership. Power and pride, we don't just talk, we testify. Unified leadership. Hard and grind, purpose and rhythm, perfectly timed. Bass hit heavy, clappers and rhythm, purpose and rhythm, perfectly timed. Bass hit heavy, crowd on sway. Culture clay, truth and play. Sifu Rafael, calm control, leaders in sync. Hearts of gold, focus sharp, the mission clear. Every step forward, silence the fear. Discipline, dripping, confidence, how we move together, we amplify. Who we are, unified. What we lead, unified. Stand tall, unified. Every time, unified leadership. Raise that bar, leaders in rhythm, born to spar. Raise that bar, leaders in rhythm, born to spar. Steady and true, the sound of the few that follow new. Strong alive, this is the beat where leaders thrive. Unified leadership.
Wow. Good morning, ladies. How are you today? Happy Friday.
Happy Friday. Good morning.
Happy Friday. Good morning.
Yeah. I'm excited for today's topic because it's leadership redefined. For me, that brings up so many ideas and concepts. I'm just curious what those two words could mean to anybody. What does it mean to you, ladies? Who'd like to go first?
Well, leadership, when I think about redefined, early on in my career, I thought leadership was something that happened in a corporate setting at work. But as I've been in it for a while, I noticed leadership are every moment. We're leading ourselves, we're leading others in every moment. And so leadership is a part of our everyday lives. It's how we choose to show up in the moments that matter. So leadership is every day. We don't choose to be a leader or not. It's how we live. It's how we embody life.
I love that.
Yeah.
I think that for me, I feel like leadership has always been a part of who I am and part of my life. Growing up, my parents were always like, you need to be a leader. Like, you are raised up to be a leader. You're raised up to be different. And they just really encouraged that our entire lives, that we did not have to go with the grain, that we could be different, and that leadership is quiet. And leadership is embodied in how you live every day and every moment of your life. And I think that when you redefine it, it is taking what you think is a leader, like, people that are in high positions and people that are, own giant companies, and realizing that you can be a leader every single day. You can be a leader every single moment. It is something that you embody, and it is something that it's a mantle that you wear. It's something that you put on every day, and you know that you're going to lead and live your life in a way that is aligned with who you are and your values, and that is being a leader.
I love that. Both of you are dead on, but I have to do controversy here.
Bring it on.
I'm going to tell you why. Because not everyone is a leader. Not everyone has the values of a leader. They may be becoming a leader, yet they're going to stumble, they're going to make mistakes, and that's okay. But as long as you continue that strive to get there. But some people will just never be leaders. They will only be followers. And believe it or not, we need followers. Great leaders need followers. So you can't be a leader of others if no one is following. So we all need followers. But even the best leaders that I've ever encountered have been the best followers. So we all started, every one of us, we started by following. We followed our parents' guide. Or we didn't follow our parents' guide and got into trouble. But there's all these different ideas of leadership, and there's so many different levels and concepts. So when we think about leadership and redefined is who you become every day. How do you lead yourself?
Sifu, I love the challenge that you place in saying that everyone is not to be a leader. And I definitely see that point, but I still think that everyone is a leader in some way. So there's been role models in my life who have been really great leaders, and they led in a way that, okay, yeah, absolutely, I want to be like that person. But then there were other leaders who led in a way that showed me that's a way that I don't want to show up in the world. And so both were leading in their way. And I think sometimes we don't choose to say, hey, I'm going to be a leader, because people watch us. It's in those moments where we're not aware and where those values, our character shows up. And so I think that's what sometimes it reveals that there's some people who have stronger leadership capabilities than others. And those are the ones who are sustainable and who are going to be able to follow and lead. That's the strength of a strong leader. But you have those who, yeah, they'll probably fall by the wayside. They will fizzle out because they're not built on that foundation. But I still think that leadership, everybody is a leader.
I have to agree. I think that everyone has leadership potential, every single person. So I love the way that, so I'm a Montessori educator, and I love the way that Montessori education is done. And the reason why is because I feel like it is the perfect outline of creating leaders. Because you have 3 ages in one classroom. And the model is that you come in not knowing what to expect, but seeing people that you want to rise up to and seeing their abilities, because you're not capable of that yet. And you grow into that. And as you see it and you grow into that, you then get to model and teach that. And then you get to rise up even more. And then you get back into another age group and you are on the bottom again. And you have all those skills now. You have all those skills that you grew with, but now you're at the bottom rank again in a brand new age group. And now you get to look at where you could be and you get to grow into it. And leaders and follows, they all go together. I mean, that's what, when I teach dance, there's a leader and there's a follower. And it's very, very purposeful. And it has to be synergetic the entire time or the dance doesn't work. You have to have a leader and a follower. You have to grow into it. There's a knowledge base, but I think the beauty of it is that a leader is somebody that can see it and will continue to grow into it. It's the ones that continue to look for growth, look for how can I become better, always have examples and mentors and people that they're rising up to be. I consider myself a leader, and I know that there's other leaders that I look up to and I follow. And I aspire to be like them. And I aspire to have their characteristics as well. And it's something, it's always evolving. And that's the beauty of leadership. It's not something that I have reached it, I am done. That is not how it works. It is something that is always evolving and growing and adapting.
Yeah. I love what you talked about, Bethany, about the, I call it the bucket system, right? When my bucket is full because it's been poured on by others who know more than me, I can now take that knowledge of, you say, and then it spills over to those who need what I have that I gained from them. So I call it the bucket system, because once my bucket is getting filled, I can't contain it. I can't keep that all. So I got to pass it down. So if you think of a bucket going down, 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 but there's always someone filling your bucket, but someone is filling their bucket, and so on, and so on, and so on. A lot of leaders lead by example, by actions they take. For example, you talk about teaching dance. I teach martial arts. I teach a lot of different skill-based learning patterns, not just martial arts. I teach carpentry. I teach all kinds of different fun things. And one of the things that I noticed that little kids will do when they want to accomplish something, they will do it and do it and do it. And they don't even realize that they're honing their skills. They're just doing it because it's kind of fun. And then other kids will see them doing it and they're like, I want to do what he's doing. So I have little kids that come in, and before their class starts, they just start doing jumping jacks, push-ups, squats, all these different things. And the other little kids are looking at them. They're like, I'm going to do it too. So now they're all competing with each other. But remember, it was one kid that started it, and then it elevated the other kids to be able to do it. I was teaching an adult class last night, and one of the adults, a daughter, was on the side, and she's taking her leg and putting it up behind her and touching the top of her head. And I gave her a thumbs up, and I said, that's beautiful. I said, now let me show you a different way to do something. And so I said, can you bring your legs straight up like this? She couldn't. I said, we're going to work on that, right? She's 5 years old. And then so later on her own, she's trying to do headstands. Just out of nowhere. She's on the mat, she's doing headstands. So then I went over and I showed her a different way to accomplish what she wanted to do. And she's like, that's awesome. So it's about capturing the moment when we can actually help somebody, but also allowing somebody to guide us. So I think she's going to be a great leader. So she's a great follower because she followed my instructions. So I love the bucket.
Yeah.
I love that. Yeah. And when I teach dance, it's the same. Like there's so many activities where you have to teach connection. And
Right.
I think that is a big deal when you teach dance, because if you cannot follow the connection, then the movement doesn't happen. And I think it's beautiful because there is a complete goal that the leader of dance, or, the lead, is trying to accomplish. I'm trying to accomplish this mood. The follows part is actually more important than the leads part. Because to accomplish that move, they have to be able to read the signals, to read the signs, to read the body language, and then to follow that, so that they can then achieve what the leader is trying to teach them to do or lead them to do. So it's a really cool type of way of looking at it.
It is. And I love that you used, first of all, I love you bringing dance into it, because it's such a powerful part of how we move. When you think about leadership in general, there's energy, there's synergy in there. And yes, there are moments when a true leader knows when to take the lead and when to fall back. And it's paying attention to and noticing those things with other people. You notice when team members are lost. You notice when the energy is different. And that's almost like the dance. There's times when a certain movement may not work. And so you're having to pivot because it didn't work at that moment, or maybe somebody lost their footing there. And dance is all about that connection, that commitment, and then being present and intentional about what you're doing. So it's following, but it's also that part of embodying it. As having taken dance a lot of my younger career, I noticed I wasn't able to be as fluid, a greater dancer when I led and followed from my head. I was more a powerful dancer when I allowed my heart to feel and embody and be in the moment. So when I was a head dancer, it was very robotic. It was disconnected. There was no flow. But when I allowed my heart to bring it into it, there was the connection. there was the flow and with everyone else in the room.
I love that. I am showing some images here of these incredible people who are going to be at our summit. And Bethany is one, and Renee, you're the other one. And these are all the leaders that are going to be with us come August 21st. I thought I'd share these with everybody. I love the concept of head compared to heart, because music moves me. So the other day, I'm talking to my fiance, and she goes, a song came on, and I just started moving. And I said, I can dance to anything. Okay. Later on, a different band came on. She was listening to different types of music, and it was totally different from rock and roll to like ballads and all these. So she goes, "Can you dance to this?" And she put on, and I started dancing to it. And she's like, "You can dance to everything." Because if you allow the rhythm to move, I believe it's just like leadership. Leadership is movement. Leadership, you have to feel it to become a great leader. And that's where the redefined comes. Because there are so many people who are put into a leadership position because we think you're going to be good at you're good at sales, so you're going to be a good sales manager. Or you're good at presentation because your presentations are always great. I want you to go teach everybody else. And they step into the role and they're like, oh my gosh, I hate this. I don't want to do this. This is not who I am. I'd rather do the thing than teach the thing. So there comes a time where people are put into a position that they don't really feel comfortable. Now, there are other people who are told, my God, you're an amazing speaker. You can speak on anything. And then you put a microphone in front of them and they're like, they can't say a word. Because you have to feel it. Just like leadership. Leadership, if you think about EQ, you have to have EQ in leadership. You have to have empathy. You have to feel what people are feeling. If I see somebody who is working for me and their head is kind of down or they're quiet more than they normally are, you know that something's happening with them. So as a leader, you can just, oh, that's just who they are today. Or you can question, are you okay? Is there anything I can be of help to you? So it depends on what kind of a leader you want to be. So you need to redefine your leadership skills, I believe, daily. Because I cannot lead the same way I led a year ago. That's old news.
Yeah. I think I want to talk about the head and the heart as well, because you're right. There is something. And I really think that when we have that disconnect from our head to our heart, it happens as we get older. We get older and we do not want to lead with our hearts anymore because our heads take over and we get worried about what everyone else is going to think. And we get worried about, will I look weird? I don't want to do that. I don't want to be the only one doing that, and we start self-talking ourselves in a way that we start having hesitation and pause and we live in the fear that our head creates, because to be a true leader, it is what Renee said, leading with your heart, and our head will get in the way. And all of a sudden we're scared and we don't want to anymore. And we just stand in the background and we're like, maybe not. But it is when you can get over that. And that is why Sifu, when you were talking about that little 5-year-old, she was just like, yeah, I will do that. Because she knew. She had no fear. She was leading everything with her heart. She was following with her heart to become a leader. And now we see things and we're like, I don't know about that. I don't want to be the one out there. And I decided a long time ago that I'm okay being the strange one. I'll be out there. It's okay. I can do that. I'm good with that because the impact that you make is just like a stone in a river. Or I guess I should say lake because it's not moving so much. But a stone in a lake, because you throw that stone in a lake and it is that one little boop, but then it just creates more and more and more ripples. And that is what leadership is. It is getting over that fear that we have created in our minds, doing the thing that we know in our heart and following our heart and starting that ripple because it's going to spread.
It is.
Bethany, I love what you. I'm sorry, Sifu. Go ahead.
After you, Renee.
I just love the piece that you mentioned about the stone in the lake and creating that ripple, because it's powerful, because one person can make a difference. And when you're leading, yes, there are other people who are involved, but it's that one moment of being brave, being vulnerable, being willing to do something that someone else wouldn't do. And that's what creates this energy. And I think it ignites that creativity or that spark that's necessary for everyone else. So I do think it's powerful when leaders can step up and just be vulnerable and get over themselves to make a bigger impact.
Good morning, Coach T.O.
Good morning.
So it's incredible when we even think about it doesn't matter the size of the stone that you throw into the river or the lake, the ripple will still happen. So it's not the size, it's the ripple, it's the effect. And if you throw it, that ripple will still touch the edges if you throw it in the middle. And it could be a boulder or it could be a tiny little pebble. It still will have a ripple effect. So leadership is the same. It's how you treat other people, how you think ahead so that you can help them benefit in your leadership style. I believe that every day we make decisions as leaders. Every decision we do make has a ripple effect, has a ripple effect in your inner circle. It has an effect in your community. And believe it or not, for those of you who don't even realize it, in the world, every decision has impact, even the ones that you decide not to do.
Love that.
That's a
Sifu, let me
powerful
ask you.
statement. Every decision makes an impact. I had to write that down. I mean,
Right.
mic drop.
It's true.
I was thinking about skipping a rock. You know how you skip it, the ripple effect is still there. It's still there. I was imagining, I was picturing it, Sifu. Ripple effect is huge, man. It's huge. And once again, man, I think all the time, man, like how do you as a leader get better? Because it's always something life wise that's happening. And how do you get better? I heard my sister Renee say it, and happy belated birthday too, by the way. I know
Thank
you just had a
you.
birthday. I know you're probably about 21 years young, so hey, that's awesome. Big kudos.
Thank you. I receive it all.
Yes. Uh, but yeah, man, it's how every single day can we improve as a leader? How? Yeah, I'll tell you one person that inspired me in that same thought is Sister Amy. Amy, man, Sifu, Amy, AMI down in Florida. Oh man, man.
Mykowski,
Oh my God, man. she sent me a message, and rest in peace and power to her mom. She lost her mom, I think June the 6th, I believe. And she said, and T.O., yeah, shout out to Amy, man. She said, I've been, handling and dealing with my mother's passing. And she said, T.O., I need you to send me your book. And man, I got up off my butt and I went straight to the post office, you all. And as I was sitting at the post office, man, it was such an emotional moment for me because I was like, wow, she just lost her mom. And I know this book in some little tiny way can somewhat help her. Thank you, Sifu. And I was sitting outside the post office, Bethany, Renee, Sifu, and I'm watching all the people walking in and out. And somehow I guess God was like, hey, I'm going to show you right now, T.O. Majority of the individuals that I saw walking in that little small, post office, uh, looked to me as being mothers. And just coming off the Father's Day, I'm just sitting there and I'm looking and I'm thinking, I said, I don't know the relationship that Amy had with her mom. I don't know. It could have been the most amazing or maybe not, but I'm going to leave her this message. And whatever the Lord says to say, you all, I'm saying it. And I left the message and I told her, I said, hey, I'm not Dr. Oliver T. Reed. I don't consider myself a prophet, but I am a man that has light. And the light in my heart and my spirit right now as a man, as a leader, as a friend, is saying to you to keep going. And it came, but it was the message that she left back, uh, that just let it all be known to me that, hey man, the greatest leader of all, we know who that is. And where two or three are in the midst in his name, that's the type of leadership that I can't find in the books. I can't find in many different realities and aspects of leadership that I've experienced. So I just want to just say that, man. And Amy, my heart's with you. Our heart is with you. We're looking forward to working with you and being a part of seeing you continue on what I know in my spirit. Your mother would want you to continue to carry on, and that's being a phenomenal leader, being real, being raw, being authentic. Dr. Reed always told me, man, like, hey, uh, whatever you do, don't get too big for God, bro.
Mm,
T.O., don't get too big for God, man. You start getting paid, these people willing to pay you money to speak and do all these things. Don't get too big for God. So whoever that message is for, I know it was for me, and I pray it can help you. But leadership redefined, man. I'm happy to see you two ladies today. I really am. And you too, Sifu. And you too. Yeah.
I'll take that too. So redefine. A lot of people don't realize that it's a daily grind to redefine anything. And when it comes to leadership, it think about the way that so many companies started. Every one of them started somewhere, right? In their garage, in a restaurant where somebody thought of it on a napkin and shared it with another person. It started somewhere, and then it evolved. So really, redefined is really the word. We should also include evolving. because leadership should be redefined and evolve consistently based on what's happened, based on the actions, and then reevaluate too, is another word that I'd like to take a look at for us, because we need to reevaluate what we're doing. Is it working? Is it not working? What is it that we continually do that gives us headaches? Are the headaches worth it? Because sometimes they are. Sometimes we have a headache for no reason, and so we need to get rid of that which is causing the headache. And I don't mean in the head space, but in the workspace, in the leadership space, in the journey, in production, in anything that's going on. Is it worth the risk even? We have kids who need to learn what leadership is. And I love that, Bethany, you brought up Montessori, because they're teaching leadership. Yet many schools don't do any of it. Don't get me wrong, there's some incredible teachers out there who do so, who teach leadership. Who's going to lead the line? Who's going to be the lunch monitor? Who's going to put the, right on the board today? Who's going to be the board monitor? Who's going to be the book monitor? And so there's incredible teachers out there. And then there's the lazy ones. We're like, oh, I got to teach this lesson today. Oh, I hope they're quiet. But when we think about leadership, it's doing something for someone else's benefit. That's leadership. When we do it only for our benefit, that's not fully implementing leadership to me. Don't get me wrong, I do a lot for me. I have to. I have to continue to learn every day. I have to continue to train every day. I have to continue to understand things that I don't understand. I'm the first one to say, I don't get it. Can you explain it again? Because if I pretend to get it, boy, will I be shooting myself in the foot. So if I don't understand something, or if I think I understand, I will ask for clarity. So my fiance says, man, you're always clarifying. I said, yeah, I know. I said, let me just confirm. Just reconfirm that for you. And so think about the clarity that we need as leaders, the evolution that we go through as a leader. Bethany, you've learned so much from your own students, and that's because you're an incredible leader. Talk to us about that if you don't mind.
I love to teach. It's like when you know that that was what you were meant to do, and it's not what I wanted to do. It was not what I wanted to do in any way. I wanted to own my own cooking show. That was like, you asked me when I was growing up, what do you want to do when you grow up? And it was, I want to have my own cooking show. But when I found teaching, it was so easy for me. And I learned so much. And when you are learning and you are growing alongside children, adults, assistants, admin, you feel fulfilled. And I actually had one of the best compliments, I think, ever. And it was one of my assistants that I had probably 15 years ago. And I'm friends with every single one of them still to this day. And she said, you were the best person that I ever worked with because I never felt like you were above me. I always felt like you were right there walking with me all the time. And I've never worked with another person in leadership position that I have felt that with. She goes, you never raised yourself above me. You were right there with me. And honestly, I think that that right there, that is something that I learned in that environment, is that being a leader is being a guide. Being a leader is being a support. And being a leader is holding somebody's hand and rising them up to walk with you. It's not, here, walk behind me and follow into my footsteps. It's grabbing their hand and saying, walk with me. We can do this together. And I think that that is one of the biggest lessons I learned from being in the classroom for so long, founding a school, like just doing all of the many things I've done within the education space. That is probably one of the best lessons I ever learned in the leadership realm, because it is being a guide and holding their hand and rising them up with you and walking with them.
I love that.
Bethany, I love so much of what you said. You said it wasn't something that you wanted to do, but everything that you said was something that you were meant to do. From your presence, the words, it came naturally. So you leaned into your purpose. And God, what a gift the people that get to work with you receive because of that. When it's a true leader, you feel the love, you feel the greatness and that quiet confidence that is giving and receiving and not losing anything by being on that walk or that journey and lifting others up. So I love that, and love the work that you're doing.
Thank you, Renee. That was so kind. Thank you.
And you receive it.
I received it.
I got to tell you, currently I'm working with a couple of leaders who I want to take over my role, right? But if I make them feel like I'm the only one that can do what I can do, they'll never step up. So a lot of times what I do is I'll say to them, do it. Go ahead. They're like, I don't know what to do. I said, I'm right here. I'll guide you along the way. And if they did something that wasn't okay, I said, is it okay if I fix it? So I asked them permission to help them. And so they feel seen. And then I'll say, it's like this, it's like that, it's like this. Now you try it. And maybe they'll mess it up again. I'm like, that's okay. I said, listen, the way I'm teaching you is the way I want you to teach others. So we need to pass down what we have. Otherwise, think of a bloodline. It's going to die when I'm gone. And we don't want that. We want it to continue. We want it to flourish. And a lot of times they're like, well, they'll say, am I doing it right? I said, I think you're doing a phenomenal job. And I think you're going to be a better teacher than I am. They're like, really? I'm like, yeah. I said, that's my goal. I don't want you to be me. I want you to be way better than me. Because I already know me, but we need to get to know you. We need to know the brilliance that you're going to bring to us. So it's important to redefine leadership by allowing others to fail and support them when they do, not criticize them, because everybody's a critic. We need supporters when we're at our lowest or when we make a mistake. We need people, like you said, Bethany, to hold our hand, to say, you know what? It's okay. You messed up, but it's a learn. You're learning something from this. So take it and just don't make that mistake again and move on from there. And so a lot of times people don't realize that journaling is part of leadership. For me, I journal constantly. And journaling allows me to see my own mistakes when no one is pointing them out. I always tell the people that work for me or with me, I say, listen, if I make a mistake, do me a favor. Don't be afraid to tell me. I need to hear it. I need to know what's going on. So let me know.
I think that when we are rising people up with us, there's two pieces here. A leader can really see the potential that they have. Just like what you said, you want them to be better than you because you know that they have the potential. And when you are a leader, you can actually see potential and you want them. You're cheering them on, you are supporting them, and you want them to be better than you because you want everything to be in their success. Because leadership is also part of love. You love them. And because you love them, you want them to be successful. I love that.
Yeah, absolutely. So, Renee, you have transformed yourself from your leadership that you used to do for corporate to a different type of leadership. I'm going to say a better leadership role. Would you mind telling us about that? And what was the transformation for you?
The transformation for me was I knew a lot of the things. No one knows everything. You can always learn something, but I was showing up the way I thought I needed to show up. I shifted who I needed to be in different rooms. And the difference is now as a leader, instead of just doing leadership, it's about embodying and being a leader. And the difference is I didn't think I was a leader. I was doing things and I was waiting for someone to say, oh, you're a leader. Oh, you have what it takes. But there was this moment that said to me, I do not require permission. I don't require for someone to tell me I'm a leader. If I don't believe it, I don't love myself as a leader, then nobody else is going to follow me as a leader. And that was the wake-up call for me, that shift. And when you start leading differently, when it's not about the title, it's not about who's going to see you, but what do you want that legacy to be like? And so when I shifted my mindset to the doing or the tangible thing that, hey, I want somebody to give me recognition, but what is the gift that I can give to the world? What is leaning into my purpose? And that was the shift for me, because I know that there's so many leaders who know so much powerful knowledge. Knowledge is only part of it. That's the head part. You can't lead without having head and heart. There needs to be that synergy between them. So that was the shift for me. And that's what I call my leadership power shift. And that's where you move from that moment of performing for approval to so somebody would notice you, and you fall into that approval trap. And then now you're leading, you don't even know who you are. But when you lead into your identity as a leader, that's powerful. Nobody can take that away from you. And you lead differently. It's never loud. It's quiet. It's confident. And it's influential.
Without a doubt. I have to say, a lot of times, and I've had this conversation many a times with someone who was going to college and they took a business course. And in the business course, everything they were learning, they were running a side hustle that made way more money than what the professors even thought, or even the instructions they were giving them. They're like, wait a minute, I'm doing a part-time business making $300,000, and everything you're telling me will never work in my business. Why am I even taking this course? So what I'm trying to say is leadership to me comes from doing, from being in the trenches. Because I can't read to you what you need to do if I haven't done it. I can command obedience, if you will, from a child. But if I'm not obedient, how can I command it? So for me, it's always about following somebody who's done it, not somebody who believes in theory. Theory's good, it works, but now put it to practice. And that to me is leadership redefined, when you actually know what you're talking about because you've gone through it, you've done it, you've experienced it, you have sweated, you have grinded, you have gone through the whole thing. You know what it feels like when things don't go right. You know what it feels like when marketing is off, when your sales are not up, when your marketing is blowing up in a great way or blowing up in a negative way. You know what it's like. But for somebody to say, this is what it's like, and yet they've never done it, that to me is not leadership. That is leadership from, I'm going to say from the chair, not from the trenches.
And there's a course that I took. What is it? 26. That course was, I think, 2024. And man, it was 25K, man. It wasn't a course. It was that next tier of implement this and your investment will bring forth a return, or fix something in your business, or that, like you said, Sifu, the marketing aspect, or how to run Facebook ads better. It was that vibe, and it started from the foundational scratch all the way into being live and ads rolling out there and whole 9 yards. It's 25K, man. And it's so amazing because some of the coaches that's a part of that program, I see them today, and they're constantly talking about the changes, the shifts. And yeah, that's some time ago, 2023, end of 23, early 2024. AI has ushered in a whole new just wave of thought, thinking, action, all of that. And when I listen to some of the coaches, and it's like, man, what was working then, you all is not working now. It's just not. And I know that these platforms, and I'm not trying to get us shut down, Seafood, but it's the truth. These platforms stay 50 steps ahead. They have some of the most smart, brainiac individuals sitting in think tanks all across the US and abroad, figuring out the one thing that we're sitting here talking about as leaders and as leadership being redefined. And Renee just said it, it's in here. It's twofold. And they're studying that. It is no way, Bethany, you could be talking about planting tomatoes with your spouse, and 30 seconds later you look at your phone and your algorithm turned into tomatoes. It's because of the psychological aspect and how sales is being utilized today. So that 25K, man, you're talking about real leadership frustration. Because I was like, man, that's 25,000. I could have did with a whole lot of other stuff. And I put it into this only for it to turn into, well, the wave just shifted. So all of these things that we implemented here Not saying they don't work, because it was the basic things too: avatars, audience, sales funnels, all of that type stuff, landing pages, closing, all of the different aspects that come along with it. But the market is changing so quick. As a leader, how are we redefining keeping up with the change? I don't think it's possible, you all. And feel free. You can say ATO, Sasquatch, bull crap, whatever. I don't believe it's sustainable as a leader. I don't. In Sifu, you just say you're either leading from the front or you're leading from the chair, which is kind of, we all understand that concept as well. But I guess as I sit back today on this magnificent Friday and I ask, three phenomenal great leaders, from education to, the different aspects of leadership in which we've all embarked upon. What's it going to look like next year in terms of corporate America, Renee, and in terms of running your own business, Seafood, and, having your own space and things of that nature, coaching, it's always shifting.
Mhm.
But I feel like, man, it's like, okay, if we could look at these things from here, like you said, Renee, if we could look at it from here, to me, that's the only saving grace, whether it's corporate, whether it's virtual, whether it's in person. Uh, I mean, I- Louis Alicio is a perfect example of a man who left the military and was ready to take his own life. He didn't handle the transition well. His life had become something that he felt pride in. I obviously been in the service, you all, and things of that nature. Attained a high rank, came home and realized I'm nothing. So he thought, I'm nothing. I'm a horrible leader because I can't lead my family. I've been leading for almost 3 decades. I've been to Iraq, Afghanistan, Somalia, all these different places, and tossed in the fire of leadership. But I can't lead my wife and my children. I'm numb. Like, there's nothing I could do. To put on an apron and stand in the kitchen and wash dishes, like, it's almost insulting. So he thought. So he thought. So many of us thought, because you go from these positions to now you're standing in the kitchen with an apron on, and you lose your identity. You lose yourself, like you said, Renee. So I think about Alicio in the last 3 days. He's viral right now. Shout out to Louis Alicio in Hubbard, Ohio. Many people have never heard of Hubbard, Ohio, but that's where he is. He stepped out of his funk of ready to take his own life, and now this man is writing books, is speaking to people, impacting people. He doesn't want any fame or glory. But I that's, to me, leadership redefined. It's not always in a book, man. Is all I'm saying. Sifu, you know me well. Renee and I talked 2 weeks ago. They got so passionate in things that we were talking about, how we, are evolving as leaders and all these good things in this space. Not talking about corporate or military. We're talking about this space, how we're evolving, why this summit is so important. So Alicio, man, is leadership redefined. And and now he's speaking about it. He's not afraid to say, yeah, 3-4 years ago, I was at the gusto of killing myself because I could not lead my wife and my children. I was lost. Nobody was calling me anymore. Nobody was calling me into the office space asking for my leadership or my decision making. I'm ready to end it. And all it took was two other individuals that are leaders, and I'll say their name, Robbie Lytle and Mr. Ross Blaine out in San Diego. Just randomly reached out to this man and said to him, "Hey, bro, are you okay? How's retirement going? How's your family doing?" And that snowballed into, "Bro, I'm ready to kill myself," like a real thing. And it's just so crazy when I think of how we redefine ourselves, you all. So I don't want to ball hog the microphone, man, but one thing I can't do as a leader, Sifu, Renee, Bethany, is be fake. Because like you said, Renee, man, I've walked in those rooms before as well. You know, I've sized up other leaders as well. I've said, man, that is the dumbest decision, dumbest thing, dumbest plan ever. But I have to adhere to it, and I have to march to the beat and follow that. And in the heart, feeling horrible, that is almost like I wanted it to fail because I knew the person's character was garbage. Like, you could be the most phenomenal leader on paper, you could be the most phenomenal leader in the room, up in front of everybody, but your character, your integrity, those simple things like Louis Alicio that saved him. Like, Louis Alicio is one of the nicest people I've ever met in my entire life. He sends me Christmas cards every year. You know how many other people, Bethany, that's not sending no Christmas card? But Louis Alicio is. Even when he's ready to take his life, he's still thinking of others and
Mhm.
sending a Christmas card. So I don't know, man. Sifu, listen, bro. You come up with some of these topics, and man, some of them are so heavy, bro. They're heavy, and this could be so boring. Somebody out back watching us four in these four squares could just be sitting back and they're ready to turn the TV channel because it's we can never be surface, man.
Mhm.
And I think that's you, Bethany, for that individual to say that to you. I don't feel like you're in charge of me. To me, man, that's stratosphere leadership, man. That's stratosphere. When someone can say 100%, I could look at my pay stub and know that Bethany Stone is in charge of me. Bethany Stone is in charge of me. She could fire me today. You know, her decisions or whatnot. But the way she conducts herself, the way she carries herself, how much she cares. We hear it all the time in the oldest saying, man, that nobody gives a crap until they know how much you really care. And Bethany, that's my light bulb for the day. We talk about lessons. My light bulb for today is how much do you really care, bro?
Mhm.
And Sifu, I thank you, man, for what
Yes,
you do. Like,
it's
you
powerful.
care, bro. You're not
Thank-
perfect, but you care. So yeah, thank you, man.
Um, I am full. I
The-
appreciate your
You can
words,
feel that. Yeah,
T.O., because I mean, you answered your question because you said with AI coming, yes, it's changing and redefining the way that we work, but you
yeah.
gave numerous examples of it. It's the people.
It's the
A
people. Yes.
computer can't teach us how to feel and
Nah,
how to
man.
connect with people. Yes, I appreciate the knowledge, the quickness that AI is able to add to things, but it can't replace
It can't,
those
man.
connections. It can't replace how people make you feel in those moments. And that's the piece that I think that we have as true leaders and true humans, is that when we continue to lean into our vulnerability, our
Right.
allow our head and our heart, our ability to connect with other people, we are continuing to redefine, because
Yeah.
we live in a society where we can't just stay with, oh, it's working now, because it's going to change. And
It's
so
gonna
you're going to have
change.
to learn, okay, how do I lean in differently? How do I connect differently? That's the secret ingredient that is going to make us relevant.
Yeah. Emilio said it in his post the other day. If anybody out there watching, go to Emilio Ramon's page and check it out. He said people are putting their bot in the Zoom, but they're not showing up. I don't know
Mm.
if y'all saw that. And I was sitting back and I was like, wow, I've seen that before. And I get emails from people's note taker bot. Like, bro, I don't need your notes. Like, I don't don't even know you, but it's coming up in my box like, oh, let me share this with T.O. and he's going to like me more. Man, get out of here. That's not leadership redefined. It's not. And I appreciate you for that, Emilio. And it sparked people in the comments. People like, yeah, I see that. Like how it's like right now, like you know, I'm here bot wise, but I'm not here in the flesh. Like, yeah, people are allowing themselves to, you know, let some of these things define them. And I agree with you, Renee. It has to be redefined every single day. That algorithm, it changes. Like well, that algorithm is so potent that if you're not grounded as a leader, if you are not harpooned out in on your purpose, if you're not like 100% bona fide, knowing the purpose of what you do to serve and help others, man, you'll get lost in that translation because it's like a smack in the face. But if you pull your money out, spend money, it's like the faucet gets turned on instantly. So whole different topic, but it's true. As much as we try to redefine, there's entities around us that's constantly redefining to stay on top of our redefining, if that makes sense. So yeah, it's real. It's real.
You brought up a great topic, Teal, and it's what corporations, the military, so many organizations are not doing. And it's helping someone transition from their current state to the next state. Retirement. What's going to happen? Are you going to go home and watch television? Are you going to go home and do nothing? Or are you going to volunteer? Are you going to do these things? So there's no, currently that I know of, no programs in Google or anything else saying, hey, you're going to retire. We're just going to throw you a party. See ya. Have fun. Thanks for being with us. Same thing with the military. We're going to throw you a going away party. Good luck to you, right? Now, it was up to 2 individuals that reached out to Alicio, but it was not the military that reached out to Alicio and said, how's your retirement going? So there is the fact that those programs are not in place. What happens to people when they've served for so long, maybe 10, 20, 30 years, and then it's here's a watch. Oh, by the way, I don't wear jewelry. Here's a watch, and that's it. Thanks for being here. Or we're throwing you a going away party, and then people are just going to get sloshed, and you're going to not have anything to show for it. Or is there, why don't we have a program to assist you in that transition? What happens from wearing a full get up military outfit to wearing an apron? It's you're just in a different battlefield.
Yeah.
That's all you're in. So defining who you are is the transition that people don't really go through, that they should go through, to understand that, hey, you know what? I don't have to lead a whole team anymore, but I have to lead my home. But I don't have to lead my home because guess what? Maybe my wife was in charge of that. Why am I going to knock her down and take over? Maybe not. Maybe I got to come in and learn how to work with her
Right.
as a team. Now, I'm a sergeant major in the Marines, and I got to come home, and my wife is not a sergeant major, so she's got to do what I said. No, it's a different role. You need to understand that a team is made up of people who work together, a great team. So considering what you brought up, I think that would be a great topic is why are we not doing?
Yeah,
For
man.
the people who've served not only our country, but maybe our organizations, our businesses, what is going to happen to them? I have a exit strategy for anybody that decides that they don't want to work with me anymore. I want to know why. I want to know where you're going and how can I help? You may be leaving me, but if I can be of help and even help you find your next thing, I want to know. So
Yeah,
I'm
that's
implementing that in my own business
yeah,
because once you do business with me, you become family.
right. It's the
So
after
great
action.
topic today. We are at the top of the hour. We actually went over a little bit. So what we're going to do right now is everybody just 30 seconds, tell us about what you do as a leader. We'll start with you, Renee.
I am a leadership strategist and the founder of Soar to Win. I have a workshop, a free workshop that I'm offering starting July 15th called the Leadership Power Shift. It'll give you a sneak preview of what that experience is like. I would love to chat with you. Find me on Facebook, follow me on LinkedIn, and help and let me guide you through your leadership power shift.
Awesome.
Yeah, thank you. Appreciate that. Bethany, you've been
I know.
listening this whole.
I know. I'm here. I don't know what's going on with my camera. I don't know what's happening. Anyways, but so I am a leadership development life skills coach because when you need to be a leader, there are skills that you need to develop. And those skill sets literally live within yourself. And I help you develop those so that you know how to lead. And I do that with business owners. And I teach workshops with corporations on how they can enhance their workforce and support them and rise them up and be that leader. And I also do a lot of speaking on leadership. So if you want to work with me, you can just come to Thriving by Nature, and that's where you'll find me.
Awesome. Awesome. Coach T.O.
Yeah. Well, this particular, let me see. It says, question, where is God in our redefining and how we're doing what we're doing in our lives? Where's God in our redefining?
God is everywhere in every
And
decision you make.
yes, and I think Brother Teddy knows that, and the echo is loud. Brother Teddy, you know that question. So just thank you for being here, though, brother. 'Cause you show up every time, and we thank you for just riding with us, man. Our unified leadership, bro. And
Yeah.
we support you too, Teddy, 100%. We see you out there, and we talk about it sometimes, Teddy. We know, when we're talking about some of these potent things that we're discussing in terms of leadership, in terms of trying to walk upright and moving in the direction in which a lot of times the wave is not going. People are watching, even if they don't comment, they're not clicking the buttons and liking and sharing. They're absorbing. So stay the course, brother. Uh, I'm just a simple individual who loves working with Sifu, learning and growing with Renee and Bethany. Uh, and I just want to keep being the best leader I could be. Like my good brother Browning Sanderson said in the chat, just not being afraid to ask for advice, not being afraid to say I don't know, not being afraid to say, hey, I suck today, but I'm gonna wake up tomorrow and be better for it, and double back down on the things that I could do to be better. So yeah, Seafood, thank you. As always, unified leadership is a special thing. It's Friday morning, it's early. Somebody's going to see this later on today. How are you redefining your leadership? You have great examples here. Reach out to Bethany, reach out to Renee. Trust me, man, they are real leaders. Sometimes as men, we don't know how to take that leadership from women. You know, sometimes as women, we don't want to hear it from men, but that could be the hidden place that stretches you to that next level of where you're trying to go. So, yeah, man, unified leadership always. Thank you, Sifu.
Everybody have a blessed day, and we will see you next Friday. All right, everybody, take care.
Unified leadership. Let's move. Let's lead. Let's ride. Unified leadership. Like the flame, turn it up loud. Remember the name. Unified leadership.